So our first question is, which of the various costs, whether it be tuition, housing, food, books, computer, transportation, etc., can be paid for with funds from a 529 plan?
529 questions like that, I generally defer back to the 529 provider. At Wake, we deal with 529 plans from many different states. There's qualified and non-qualified aspects of the cost of attendance. Generally, I tell families anything that's a direct cost can qualify for 529. If it's an indirect cost, let's say the student has an off-campus apartment for housing, if it's an on-campus housing charge, it's easy to document through your billing statement at the university. That can be a little bit more difficult if you're dealing with an off-campus landlord. So check the specifics of the 529 plan for that.
And he asked, when we know the availability or options of federal, specifically subsidized student loans?
So each school has a priority deadline, as we both mentioned earlier. For our early decision students, they were notified last week of their financial aid if they were admitted to the university. And so if they were not selected for a process called verification, then they will receive a copy of their award letter. And the award letter may include grants, loans, and scholarships on that. So depends on when the student was admitted to the university. For us, we were notifying students last Wednesday of their admitted status and their award. And then regular decision will be in March when students are notified. So it just depends on which school that you plan, you the student or parents, whenever you find out information out, when they send that information out to students.
Same here. We're working early decision student notifications are going out right now. Regular decision students will receive their aid notifications late March, early April.
So our next question is, where do you recommend looking for outside scholarships?
That's a good question. I encourage students to do Google search, but two that we commonly encourage students to use are Fast Web, and it's fastweb.com. Gosh, I had it. Another website is niche, niche.com. And Tom, what's another one? I had it, but I just lost it.
College Board has one. The
College Board.
Yep, yes. The College Scholarship Search through College Board is a decent one. And again, another plug for our state organization, College Foundation of North Carolina. Great resource, outside scholarships, state scholarship availability there. So check out CFNC, and you can check out financial aid homepages at different colleges and universities. Anytime I receive a scholarship notification from an outside scholarship provider, we put announcements on our financial aid homepage. Sometimes they're aimed at Wake Forest students, but most of the time they're general scholarship opportunities.
Okay. And you can also reach out to your guidance counselors. Sometimes they have lists of scholarship opportunities available. Once you begin UNC Chapel Hill, then you can reach out to your department that may know of scholarships that you may be able to apply for. Again, with any scholarship, make sure that you adhere to the deadline and whatever the requirements are of them.
Our next question asked when the best time for a high school student is to apply for a scholarship or financial aid.
So as we both mentioned, the FAFSA opens up every October 1 using prior tax information. So at 12 a.m. if you're up and you plan on going to college and looking for financial aid to help pay, then you can use the FAFSA. Complete the FAFSA to find out what financial aid you're eligible for. As far as scholarships, I think there are some scholarships that juniors can begin looking at now. And again, just start looking at FastWeb, Niche, College Board, different websites for scholarship opportunities that may be available. And again, definitely like Tom shared, check out the financial.
All right, so our next question is, after you get accepted into a college, how long does it take for them to send you your financial aid offer?
I think we've touched on this before as well. It depends on when the student applies for admissions to the university. If they do early admission, I know for us, our deadline was October 15th, 2020. Students are being notified beginning last week and still will be notified. For a regular decision, it will be March. If they're again not selected for a process called verification, then they will receive their financial aid award package, and it'll include, again, student loans, grants, and scholarships.
And you should consider the admissions acceptance letter and financial aid notification to be a pretty, parallel process. So now that we have the applications available October 1, it used to be that you couldn't even access the FAFSA or the profile until January 1st. But now that they've pushed it back till October 1 and are using prior year, you're able to apply for admissions and financial aid at the same time, so that as soon as you're accepted to the university, you can find out about your financial aid status and just watch those requirements, because you may think that you've submitted everything, but the financial aid office at the school may say, hey, we need to request your tax documentation, and that will be an additional requirement. So watch your admissions application requirements and your financial aid requirements to ensure that everything is submitted so you get a timely notification of the aid.
So our next question is, will my home equity have an impact on the EFC on my kid's FAFSA?
Not on the FAFSA. We hit on that one. Home equity is not assessed on the FAFSA. On the CSS profile, home equity is assessed.
Yeah, so the next question is, are there any high schools that can get you into UNC directly so you won't have to pay for college fees and tuition? And then the second question is also, what are the best scholarship programs in your opinion for technology field and science field?
Our process is students have to apply. I wish it was that simple, because if that was the case, I'd have went to Carolina myself, but I didn't. I had to do like everyone else. I had to apply for college, but there's no rhyme or reason. The admissions team, they look at the student as a whole, information that's provided on their application whenever they submit it, and additional information they may request of the student. So there is no easy way to get in. You just have to make sure, as a junior or a senior in high school, and you're thinking about different colleges, that you taking the correct courses to get admitted to the universities or colleges, and that you complete your applications within a timely manner. And I'm sorry, what was the second question?
Yeah, so the second question was, what are the best scholarship programs in your opinion for a technology field and science field?
I actually don't know of any scholarships for the technology field that are the best. Again, you just have to do your research as far as scholarships. There are a lot out there. You just have to take your time. What I encourage students to do is write a strong essay. And then as you're applying for scholarships, you can, add a little something to the essay, or, take a little bit out and make it geared to that scholarship that you're applying for, and use that over and over again. So, and just use your resources. There are opportunities out there for you all to receive money. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, look for STEAM or STEM scholarship support. I always encourage students to also look locally. I know you all are in the Triangle. That's a vast wealth of resources in Research Triangle Park for those types of interests. And if you can start locally and then expand, so start with town. If you're in Morrisville, start in Morrisville, expand out, Wake County, state of North Carolina, Southern region, before going for national scholarships. If you can work locally and the donor can put a face with a name, I think you have a much stronger opportunity to receive that scholarship versus a big national scholarship program.
Okay, got another question. He asked, do they send financial package and everything even after you confirm your decision to that specific college?
I think I'll answer that one. So Wake, we only send financial aid packages to students who are accepted and admitted to the university. So students can apply for aid and not be admitted. If that's the case, we don't send a financial aid breakdown to those.
And our next question is, will my 401k balance have any impact on my kid's FAFSA?
It will not. Retirement is not assessed on the FAFSA. There will be no questions about it on the FAFSA. The CSS profile will ask you about retirement accounts. No contribution is expected from that, though. It's just part of the financial picture for a family. We ask about what are the total values of retirement accounts, but no contribution is expected from those retirement accounts.
Okay, I think the next question was, is there a cap limit on parents' income for the scholarships or financial aid?
Oh, good question. No, we don't set a income level limit. You could imagine that a parent that has, you know, 2 children, one attending Duke and one attending Wake Forest, will have significant educational costs. With those costs, the expected family contribution can be divided between those 2 students. So let's just say, for a scenario here, the family's total income is $200,000. And in that $200,000 income level, there's an expected family contribution of, well, let's say $50,000. Well, with 1 student in school and that level of income and expected family contribution, the family will not qualify for need-based financial aid. But with 2 students in college and that expected family contribution is chopped in half, the family can qualify for need-based financial aid. So the formula is complex. We recognize that everyone's riding the roller coaster. Income and assets can go up and down. Family members can enter and exit college. So at 1 year in one family situation, you could qualify for financial aid at X level of income in year 2, with Y level of income, but a change in family circumstances, you may or may not qualify. So there's no cap on income limits. I encourage families to use the net price calculators at the school to see how income levels start to impact need-based scholarship eligibility.
So we have one final question for today, is that if you haven't confirmed you're going to the college, like say you got accepted, but you haven't confirmed you're going there, do they still send you the financial package?
Oh, yeah, I think that's kind of a variant on that other student's question. I may have misunderstood there. So you don't have to pay your deposit to get the financial aid notification. There's a difference between admitted to the university and an accepted deposit paid student to the university. Once you're admitted to the university, then you get access to your financial aid package. So admissions acceptance first, then financial aid notification, and then we determine whether or not you're going to deposit and become an accepted incoming enrolled matriculated student.